right, jabronis. Clay and Tom coming back at you. Second podcast of the preseason here. Draft is in the books, Tom.
Yes, sir. It was good times. I had a blast. Hope everybody else did too.
The party was great. Started at 11. Rolled until... You and me were at least out there until about 2.
Exactly. It's a long day. Luckily, I paced myself, We
were able to keep the party together, really for the most part, because even at the last place we went, which was Next, I think we had 6 or 7 still left.
Right. And, as the day goes on, people dispersed and went home and did their thing, but me and you rocked it on till the end, brother.
Oh, dude. Heck yeah. Give me some on that.
Right on. You know what? We started that day off picking up Spencer and Cromer, and then we all took a nice whiskey shot at about 10:45 at Cromer's house to get the day started. So thank you for that.
That was a great start to the day. Rolled up to the draft. Everything went pretty well as planned. I mean, I can't really complain too much. I think we all had a good time. I feel like
I had a blast.
Overall, it was a success. And I'm excited about the season starting. We're about a week out from the season. Thursday night.
First game.
I don't even know who's playing. Don't care. But it's NFL football, and I'm ready.
I got my lineup set, so let's do this, son.
All right, Tom. What else you got for us here?
There's a couple things in the news right now, and we'll touch on them a little bit later. But one, Colin Kaepernick, he's kind of blowing up. Everybody's fan favorite, Tim Tebow's out there. Got some Willy Wonka stuff that I'm going to drop on you here in a few. So,
daggum Tim Tebow hadn't played baseball since high school. His whole dream, his life. Oh, I want to be a football player. My dream is to play football. Football is my number one love. Plays in the NFL. Doesn't want to switch positions. Terrible quarterback, obviously. Good guy. Terrible quarterback. Doesn't want to switch positions. Out of the NFL. Gets a cush job with the SEC Network as an analyst.
He's a terrible analyst, by the way.
But it's still a good job, right? Now all of a sudden, I really love baseball.
Yeah, and who goes out to train for baseball in August?
You would think he would do this in February.
Yeah. I mean, it's the wrong time of the year. It's the wrong sport. Why didn't you just become a tight end, brother?
I don't know. Here's my deal. As bad as it is and as arrogant as it is on Tebow's part, is someone's going to make some money on it. You put Tebow on your single A team, people are going to come watch him.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
So, I mean, it's going to be a good business decision for somebody. But I seriously doubt he'll ever make it into the pros.
I heard that a team in Venezuela, a championship team in Venezuela, offered him a spot. So,
awesome.
Goodbye, Tim. Some of you may know this guy. Some of you may not. Gene Wilder. He is like an American staple in old school movies. One being Willy Wonka, which has been one of my favorites for a long time. The other one is Blazing Saddles. If you hadn't seen that, talking about
hilarious.
Good stuff. But Gene Wilder passes away. That's a tough deal there. He's a good guy.
In other news, considering the death standpoint, there's been 2 other deaths in the NFL, and that'd be the playoff hopes for both the Vikings and the Dallas Cowboys.
You know what's interesting about that is that Luke Sanders has the Cowboys' number 1 running back and the Vikings' number 1 running back. How does that happen?
So my question is, are all the Gingers working together here? I mean, is that
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because you got Jason Garrett over there in Dallas. Maybe he also had Ezekiel Elliott on his fantasy team.
Oh, yeah. At one point in time, we thought the head coach for the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, had Antonio Brown on his team because that's all he went to for the fourth quarter in one game. Antonio Brown had 45 points. It's dude, he's got him on his fantasy team for sure. We had a little preseason drama at the draft the other day, and it was just kind of an unfortunate coincidence when it went down. But our boy Patrick made an ill-advised draft in the 14th round to pick up Romo.
I would consider ill-advised from a personal standpoint, but also the timing of the announcement of the broken back was perfect.
It was just uncanny how that all worked out. But here's the thing. Cromer was deep in his computer every time he had a pick. So who was telling you to pick Romo there?
Yeah, I would like to know the expert. But then I decided to go ahead and run with it and made what I thought was a pretty good meme.
Yeah.
Patrick and Tony Romo in a Brokeback Mountain scenario because Romo broke his back. Patrick didn't take too kindly to that, and now he has a $100 bounty out on my balls.
It's just the ball, though, right?
So
it's just one ball, right?
So, Tom, if you want to punch me in the balls, you can get $100 from Chromo.
Oh no, that's not how I roll. I'm not a violent person, and it was all I would say harmless, just trash talk, but, some people do get offended about stuff like that, so.
This is going to be the last time that I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. I'm going to make probably one or two more jokes about Patrick and Tony Romo.
Well, we got to fill up the podcast. Yeah. I mean, 15-minute segment. We got to fill it up with something.
And then I'm squashing my beef.
Sure.
Speaking of punches.
Now there's only one thing left. Thunder Cookie.
Earlier this week, Colin Kaepernick, he kind of made a move that a lot of people didn't like. It seems to have revolved now into something a little bit better. But earlier this week, he made a protest. Didn't stand for the national anthem. Not cool, player. Thunder Cookie. The second one, this one just came out recently, but apparently Penn State is hosting a 50-year commemoration for Joe Paterno. Not cool. Not cool too soon. And you know what? We flushed that. Thunder Cookie.
100% agree with that one. You had to know what was going on.
He did know, and it's come out that he did know, and that's just not cool.
You got to put a stop to it.
And that's one of the most vile and
yeah.
worst scandals in college history, so why would you commemorate that? Now, we'll bring it back into the league a little bit. I'm not going to say any names, but one of our own decided to take a little snooze while we were out kicking it. You know who you are. We're not going to say it, but everybody knows who you are.
Since we're talking about this individual, I've got a really nice little segment. I'm going to do a play-by-play of his night. So first he had the draft. A questionable draft at best.
Pop that Smirnoff Ice for being the 10th place player.
He got iced by another league.
No doubt.
But here's what happened after the ice. In the bathroom. Live look here.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Looking good, Barry. Looking good, you handsome mother.
So he comes out of the bathroom after getting iced, and he is lit.
He's looking suave, or he thinks he's looking suave, and we continue on.
We gotta get you out of those wet clothes and into a dry martini.
What?
A martini?
So he thought he was suave, but in reality, we were like, "What are you talking about?"
What did you say, brother?
And then he did. He was a trooper, though. He made it out to 2 extra venues. And I want to say somewhere around midnight or a little bit later, we're out on the patio at Fountain, and he is out. I mean, mouth wide open, just...
Just had a snooze for a little bit. No big deal.
I'm sure that when he got home, if his wife was home, which I'm assuming that she probably was, he probably hit her with one of these.
Looking for a little slapping pickle.
Play Jones.
Is cooking.
All right, Tom. Trying to recover. That was pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. I've had a lot of good laughs this week. Fantasy football has, especially Hate the Game League, has provided me with a lot of laughs this week.
No doubt about that.
All right, so here comes some more laughs. I got a number for you, Tom. 10.
Okay, lay it on me. What you got?
Pounds of food that I ate over the day on Saturday.
Oh, dang, son.
Started out with the wings, hit the pretzel, hit some chips and salsa.
Pizza.
Yeah, pizza. And then ended up at West End. Someone bought a cheeseburger.
And some fries, yeah.
I ate that. And then me and Tom and Pele loaded up. We're going to go to Tom's house. We thought, hey, let's get some Taco Bell.
Everybody's like, yeah, man, great idea.
It was a great idea. After dropping 35 bones at Taco Bell, I think me and you and Paley all had 3 or 4 quesaritos each or something like that. I mean, it was amazing. I felt great when I went to bed. About 5:30 in the morning. I sat up and I go, oh my gosh. Had to jump over the dog gate, ran into the bathroom. Didn't even have time to turn the vent or close the door. Man, it was bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was something else. And It didn't sound too off from that. So Tom's wife messaged my wife later on in the day and was like, man, all of our stomachs are jacked up from eating all day yesterday.
Clay's wife texts back. She's like, oh my God, this morning, Clay's up at 5 a.m., blowing it up in the bathroom, door wide open. Yeah, so there's that. And we lost it.
Oh, all right, Tom. I got another number for you. This is a little more serious this time. 7.
Right on. What are we looking at?
Number of wide receivers taken in the first round. I'm not going to say it was all that surprising considering the shape of the league and how everything's going this year, but it was still pretty crazy to see 7 off the board, and especially 5 in the first 5 picks.
That's right.
Here we go, baby! I love me some music. Let's rock and roll, baby. All I want to know if you got your popcorn ready. Do you got your popcorn ready right now? You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers?
Clay and Tom's weekly picks.
You can't handle
Their weekly picks. Okay, Tom, we don't really have picks per se for this week, but I do want to do a little segment on what I'd like to call wins and losses from this year's draft. So if you want to go ahead and get it going, hit us up with a win or a loss, and then we'll just roll with it from there.
Well, it's tough with the draft because, at this point, nobody's played. So it's hard to say who did win and who did lose. But from the draft, we can make comments on that, and we'll have to start with this. Not necessarily that it's a bad pick. It was just surprising coming from this guy. Spencer went Blake Bortles in the 5th. That was a surprise to me. I didn't expect him to do that.
I understand why he did it. It's because Bortles was good to him last year. It probably was a little bit of a reach, at least at that point in the draft.
Yeah, I really don't think anybody was going to go after him, so he might have been able to get a better player at that spot and get Bortles later, but Bortles might go 350 points this year. You never know.
You're pretty bold calling out Spencer. He didn't lose too much.
Well, here's the next one that I've got in my notes. Patrick Cromer drafts a kicker in the 9th round. That blew everybody's mind up. Again, was his spreadsheet or his live connection that he was drafting through, did they tell him to do that? Dude, take him.
My thing there is I haven't heard any experts that I've ever listened to that have said take a kicker or a defense before the last 2 rounds of the draft.
Right.
So I don't know what expert he was listening to, but all the ones that I've listened to and subscribed to never take kickers and defenses until the last 2 rounds. And that's what I like to do as well. I got a couple of wins for you. Fox and Hound made a ton of money off of us on Saturday.
There is no doubt about that.
They gave us free food, but I'm pretty sure that they also made all that money back times 10.
But yeah, probably so, yeah.
A loss, our bank accounts.
For sure. That whole day, that whole weekend hurt me.
I got another loss for you. My head and my gut on Sunday.
Ice.
And I also need a little bit of...
Ibuprofen.
For sure.
It was rough, man. Win, Tom, on Golden Tee.
That's the truth.
You did beat me and Cody and Eric in Golden Tee.
Felt pretty good about that. Made me feel good.
Loss, Tom, on Golden Tee. For being so good at Golden Tee.
It's not cool to be cool at Golden Tee. I got you.
What a loser.
Here's a win for everybody except Cody. Why didn't you take Aaron Rodgers? Why didn't you take Aaron Rodgers?
I also think that Cody did win by not taking a Packer with the 3rd pick. Taking Odell Beckham, smart decision, Cody. I'm not going to say it too often.
And I don't even think that was his decision. I think one of his buddies might have helped him with that one.
Probably. Chris was probably over there like, Cody, take Odell Beckham.
Yeah, or Josh.
Yeah, it could have been. Loss, Chris, for drafting C.J. Anderson.
Ooh, well, how do you feel about C.J. Anderson, Clay?
He can go f*** himself.
It's a bold statement, Cotton.
I don't know that it's necessarily a bad pick, but it's just a loss in my book because I hate C.J. Anderson after last year. Win, probably the biggest win, Pele actually showing up for the draft.
Dude, that was awesome, man. Meet him in the flesh, hanging out with him. Good dude. I like you, Pele. You're a good guy.
Last loss for me, my computer crapped out. Charging block went out. I don't know what happened. I'm over there plugging it in going, hey,
I remember that.
Your guys' power outlets don't work. And the girl's looking at me like, what are you talking about? These work? I just had stuff plugged in. No, it doesn't work. 30 minutes later, I go, I don't have a green light on my charging block. Other than that, the dude showing up in the unicorn outfit was hilarious.
Oh, that was awesome.
From the other draft.
Here was one more thing, and going back to the Thunder Cookie thing, we probably should have given Fox one of these for the mold in the Pong cups. So we're like playing a game. We finished the first game, and then I'm like moving the cups back in there. I look in the bottom of the cup. There's a bunch of green and black mold built up into it.
Ew.
So I'm like, ugh. So I go up there. I'm like, hey, we need some new cups. And the lady's like, oh, we don't have any more cups. I'm like, come on, just some plastic cups, no big deal.
Yeah.
No, we don't have any. I was like, well, can you wash these out? Oh, well, that'll probably take 30 to 45 minutes.
30 to 45 minutes?
About that time, manager came up, and I was telling him about the mold in the cups, and he just peeled off a couple of dollars and said, go over there and get him some new cups. So they redeemed themselves, but I wasn't happy about the mold in the cups. It's pretty nasty.
So they were about to get a Thunder Cookie, and they were lucky they avoided it.
Right.
You'd keep your mouth shut if you knew it was good for you, buddy.
All right, guys, Smack Talk of the Week. And this is going to sound a little bit narcissistic, but I'm going to go ahead and put me on the Smack Talk of the Week for the Romo stuff. Mainly because Patrick, I think, got really mad about it. I might have pushed it a little bit too far.
Well, we're always joking. We're always talking trash in the league, so we don't mean for anybody to get upset. You just own it, and you move on and go from there.
So, with that said, I'm going to squash my beef right here on the podcast. But before I squash the beef, Tom, I've got one more amazing soundbite. And I would like to dedicate this to my good buddy, Patrick C. Romo III.
I love Tony Romo. I would catch if you threw me a pass. I would run if I was your back. I would cry like Tio was crying if you were my QB tonight. I love Tony Romo, baby. He don't throw away the game. I will stand by him forever. He will win a ring someday.
So there you have it.
That was amazing, by the way.
I love Tony Romo. Someone had to make that song and put it on YouTube, apparently as a lost bet. I know, Josh, you're going to try to find it. Just type a search in YouTube for Tony Romo song, and it'll be up there somewhere. But I saw this yesterday. Had to get it on the podcast. I think it's hilarious.
It's good. And one other thing about Tony Romo is this. I don't think there's ever been a quarterback ever that has been made fun of as much as Tony Romo has.
I think he's even gotten more than Johnny Manziel. And Johnny Manziel's gotten a lot of play.
Yeah, I think Romo far outweighs that.
So last thing I got to say, Cromer, I'm done with the Tony Romo smack after this.
I love Tony Romo, baby. I love Tony Romo, baby.
Oh, yeah. Since I'm squashing my beef with Patrick, I'm going to go ahead and get him on the phone right now. We got Patrick on the line. Patrick, it's time to squash our beef, man.
Oh, there's no beef, man.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
hashtag Bountygate was trending on Tuesday night.
Oh, was it? Oh, really? Do I owe anybody money?
No, you don't owe anybody money. No, Ferrari never actually showed up to watch me play. So Ferrari, I'm gonna give you a bitch slap.
Since the hate train was rolling strong on Patrick this week, we figured we'd call, get you on the show and see what's cracking. How do you feel about your team?
Oh, I like my team. I think my team's pretty good.
Well, we're gonna find out week 1.
We will.
Yeah, I guess
I don't like to talk a lot of shit about fantasy football, though. Other shit, but not about fantasy football. Call it a superstition.
Well, do you have anything to say to Clay since you're playing him week 1? I mean, this is your time. This is your soapbox here. Do you need to tell him anything?
Oh, he already built it up good enough. So if he falls flat on his face week 1, he'll have to eat all his words. That's all good.
That's a very good point.
What if I don't fall flat on my face, though? What if I dominate?
Okay, I like that optimism. We'll see what happens.
All right, since we're killing this thing with Tony Romo, Patrick, explain to us what was going through your head with your 14th pick.
Well, it was my 14th pick, okay? Would I get a backup quarterback and a tight end with my last 2 picks? So it wasn't really important to me. Dallas had the best schedule, or the easiest schedule, behind Detroit, I think, and I just picked up Stafford, so we'll see what happens.
What do you think about the timing of the statement released by the NFL about Tony Romo? I mean, that's pretty uncanny, right?
Yeah, that was good. But it was still my 14th pick, so, I mean, if I had taken Tony Romo horribly wrong in, like, the 5th round or something, it would have been a lot worse.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not talking about your pick. It was amazing the timing. You picked him, and then bam, ESPN's like, he's hurt, which was the whole thing about it. I'm glad it got everybody fired up.
That was funny, man.
Good way to start the season with somebody's draft player going down.
Oh, I've had a lot
during the draft.
I've had a lot of great laughs over it myself. Mainly making memes of you and Tony Romo and you and Jerry Jones and.
Yeah, I like your Forrest Gump meme. That was pretty good.
That was Cody or Spencer, I think.
Somebody
did
put that out there.
I think that was Cody. That one was awesome.
All right, one more question. How do you feel about the draft party in general?
I had a great time. Yeah, we hit it pretty hard, though. I mean, where'd we go? We went to the Fox, then we went to West End after that. Went to another pool place. Okay.
Fountain.
Right. We went to the Fountain after that, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, good deal, man. We're glad you had a good time. Thanks for being in our interview, and we'll be podcasting this later on.
All right. Good luck, guys. Especially you, Tom.
Thank you.
I hate you, Patrick.
All right. See you.
All right, guys. There you have it. Another thought-provoking, informative, amazingly put together interview. It really doesn't get any better than that. Me and you are at the peak of journalism.
The apex of radio broadcasting, for sure.
It doesn't get any better than that. You're not even going to find a better interview than that. I would challenge you to find a better interview than that. Okay. Good luck. You always know when Tom and me are on the interview, we're going to bring the heat. We're going to bring the hard questions.
I got to be honest, I'm surprised he answered.
I was too. I kind of thought he'd be screening my phone calls.
I guess I was stunned there that he answered. I was like, oh, well, I should have wrote some questions down or something.
One last thing this week, jabronis. Weekly pick write-ups. Last year we did them. Basically, the premise is you take the 5 matchups of the week, pick a winner, and write a little bit of a blurb about it. Doesn't have to be long, but throw in some smack, whatever you want to do. I need people to sign up for it. Last year I did week 1. I think Tom did week 2. We went on from there.
Sure, we can still do that. That's fine. There's a bunch of creative people out there in our league, and the write-ups were awesome. People had some good jokes in there. We'll just try to continue on that, make this league, what we meant to be.
The other good thing about the write-up is it always makes the podcast.
Sure.
Or at least a part of it, because we'll always kind of go over the picks. Tom and me are going to start making our own picks. I think I beat you last year by like 3.
Could be.
So that means I'm way, way better than you at prognosticating. You probably don't even know what that word means, do you?
I'll have to look that up when I get out of here. Do you think you could spell it? Write it down for me? Cody, do you know what that means? Maybe you could tell me.
All right, guys. Week 1 in a week. Let's get this thing done. Get this thing going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll see you next Wednesday. It's been emotional.
Boom, son. You're done.